One of the games I was most looking forward to playing on PS5 Pro was Black Myth Wukong. I've enjoyed playing the game a lot, but visuals and performance in all three available graphics modes on PS5 are far from ideal. I'll quickly explain why these modes are not ideal and explain why I chose the mode I did, since I'll mention all graphics modes for this comparison between PS5 and PS5 Pro. I also want to be clear that sadly Black Myth Wukong is not yet PS5 Pro Enhanced, so this comparison is purely down to the difference you get from the PS5 Pro Boost mode. All footage shown in this video, regardless of mode or console, will have motion blur turned off. It's a personal preference, but also motion blur exaggerates some of the negative aspects of the game's visuals. So very quickly, the three performance modes are Quality, Balance and Performance. Oliver Mackenzie of Digital Foundry noted that the Quality mode has a roughly 1440p internal resolution that's then upscaled to 4K using FSR3. This mode fluctuates between 31 and 36 FPS. The Balance mode is 1080p, so visually speaking this mode is much softer and targets 45 FPS. This mode experiences hitching, but due to the highest base frame rate of all modes, this mode has the best input response. The last mode, the Performance mode, is also 1080p, but targets 60 FPS using FSR3 frame generation from a base FPS of 30, so this gives a smoother looking visual, but has the input lag that is probably lower than 30 FPS. So every mode has some major flaw, but since Black Myth Wukong is a combat-heavy action game that requires lots of dodging enemy attacks, I prioritised a better input response and therefore chose to use the Balance mode. Finally, to the PS5 Pro difference. While the base PS5 tries its best to achieve the 45 FPS target in the Balance mode, there are dips to the 30s in boss fights, leading to an unsmooth presentation and variable input lag, which is exactly what you don't want in boss fights. To test the difference between PS5 and PS5 Pro, I replayed the opening 90 minutes of the game on both consoles. As the game has yet to be patched and this mode is not using dynamic resolution, the visuals will be exactly the same between both models of PS5. But in my opinion, the PS5 Pro provides a perceptibly smoother, more stable experience with far less dips in frame rate than the base PS5. This meant that input response also felt much more consistent and marginally easier to time dodges. The PS5 Pro cannot fix the bizarre frame rate choice of 45 FPS, so you still get hitching. This is basically when the game's refresh rate doesn't match up with the screen refresh of 60 FPS. So for example, one frame is displayed long, and then 2 frames short, and so on. I very quickly tested both Quality and Performance modes on PS5 Pro, just out of curiosity. In Quality mode, the game may have a slightly higher dynamic resolution, but performance is still stuck in the low 30 FPS no man's land, so input lag is still really bad. In Performance mode, there is no visual difference as this mode has a fixed resolution of 1080p. The mode may also appear a tiny bit more smooth than on PS5, but it still suffers from dramatic drops in frame rate and really bad input lag. I stand by my selection of using the Balance mode despite its flaws. The PS5 Pro provides a slightly better experience from a bizarre set of graphics options. I have to say I'm highly disappointed that the game hasn't received a PS5 Pro enhancement, especially given the game's popularity and the fact that the game's performance is still far from ideal many months after launch. I have my fingers crossed this happens very soon, but until then, please feel free to comment, like and subscribe for more PS5 Pro videos coming very soon. Thanks for watching.